How do? Been a little while, hasn't it? But because it has, and because we're getting closer to 2th Nation, I thought it's best to do just, a regular, good old school video update, chat about things, what I have got, and bits and pieces kind of video. I'm going to be chatting to you about a few of the Power of the Primes bits that I've had over the past month or two, because it's the big new thing, and I haven't spoken about it really on camera at all, have I? And I suppose you find out kind of why that's the case. But I'm over 600 subscribers now, so big thank you to everyone. And if you're new, as it's kind of likely you're going to be, but then I only really receive about like a sixth of my subscriber count in views, so I don't know. Chances are, actually, statistically, that you're not watching this. But anyway, if you don't know what Twit is, This Week in Transformers used to be an actual weekly thing I did, like every week, that then devolved into just being a name for an irregular kind of time period based update thing where I'll just show you what I've got recently. But yes, I'm returning to a form for at least, one video there, and I'm going to show you some bits now. So starting off with Blackwing, who hasn't got black wings. Just gloss over that fact, forget about it. They can't call him Darkwing because of the bloke that looks like Donald Duck that Disney have got. Cowards, they should have just called him Hydra. Disney owns that as well. I got Dreadwind at Christmas, and it's taken 6 months for Wave 2 to turn up. So, I had to wait quite a while for his mate here, and he's very good. The decos on these Power Master guys are just, yeah, that's it. And everything just come in this sort of colour palette, please. It's nice, it's nice. Yeah, mostly, he's just another Combiner Wars aerial bot. But he's not, actually. It's only really his legs and, like, his forearms. Because, like, everything in his upper body is entirely new. And I didn't realise that at first glance. And then you get him and you transform him and he does all this stuff with all these joints and all the stuff in his back. And it's mental, actually. It's like a huge step up in complexity just for this one bloke for some reason. Love the decals on his wings. I love the fact you can actually put his wings up there and, show them off like that. Because in the box they're around the other way and you have to fiddle about to get him to look good. I actually prefer putting his guns in his hands like that. But of course you can stick them in his arms and that's kind of cool. It's nice to have just, a couple of like dual wielding John Woo style pistols going on here. Of course you can, stick him on the back of Dreadwind's alt mode and make Dreadwingus. But that's silly and it kind of falls apart because it's only held together by a single 5mm peg, and it's just, it's nice that you did it. It's nice that they went to the trouble of, letting them do everything the originals do beyond having actual Power Masters. But I don't think I'll ever be doing it again, to be honest. Leave the combining to, the whole limb shenanigans. Although, of course, it is an extra layer of playability that makes them a little bit more special, isn't it? Because if there's one thing Power of the Primes is good at, it's throwing every single gimmick under the sun at you and seeing which one sticks. Although the only one they're really marketing is cuboid accessorizing. So kind of glad that that's going away quite quickly. But what I'm not really glad about is the fact that Power of the Primes is now kind of like finished already. Like the year isn't even over, and we're not getting any new generation stuff until the new year with the Siege, War for Cybertron. Like, what's going on with that? Like, we've seen it all now. Like, everything that was in those leaked documents that came out at the beginning of the year, or was it even the beginning of the year? Was it like around Christmas? It wasn't even this year. And we saw everything. Everything that was in those like 3 like internal use PowerPoint slides has come out now, and we've seen it, and they're not revealing anything else. So there's been absolutely no surprises in this line apart from like the exclusive guys like Counterpunch and Blast Off and that. Everything was just there, and they didn't show us it, but we saw it. So it's kind of like, what else you got? It has been kind of the feeling I've had all year. Like every time new reveals have come along, it's like, oh, here's Inferno, here's Outback. And it's like, yeah, we knew about them like months ago. What else you got? And it's like, oh, I'd hate to be one of the Hasbro guys that has to deal with that and just be like, oh, well, we thought you'd like this. We thought it'd be exciting, but all right. Like that's kind of, it's not good, is it? It's not good, and it's not good for us because so much of, you know, that whole reveal scene, you know, like when they showed off all the War for Cybertron trilogy stuff recently at the San Diego Comic-Con, and was like, oh mate, look at this, look at how, look at Ultra Magnus, has he got what Optimus inside? Yes he has, oh my days. You know, that was really exciting because it's like, oh look at all this new stuff, it looks amazing. But all through the year, for everything Power of the Primes, that emotion has not existed because some bloke in China decided to leak all of the products to us months ahead of time and spoiled everything. And there's the fact it's only been 3 waves, and that's tiny, you know, compared to like Combinables that just sprawled out for like 18 months and like 6 waves, and like this is like half of that, and it's not even lasted. Really, it's not even lasted like 6 months, has it? Because like the wave 3 stuff was hitting some places in the world in like June, and it's like, oh, we're going to get for the rest of the year then. You know, if I've got to subsist on Studio Series and trying to find like one Cyberverse figure that I might like because they all look a bit cack. You know, oh, I don't know, it feels a bit bad, but at least it's plenty of time for me to catch up on all the stuff that I didn't get from Power of the Primes because, as you're about to see, I've really not got very much of it at all, you know, compared to like Combinables, where I was really, you know, getting into it. I haven't had the money, and they've been really hard to find. I mean, I'd say I'm disappointed with the line, but I'm not really. It's only that I haven't been able to get hold of as much of it as I would have done with the previous 2 installments of Generations. So it's all on me, really, isn't it? It's not the line's fault for being a bit of a haphazard mismatch of just guys that don't really go together. Why aren't there 4 female Autobot limbs to go on Elite 1? You know, it's just a bit like, it's been cut short, you know? Give us a couple more waves and it would have been fine. You know, they could have done like Sideswipe and Ratchet and Blue Streak, finish off the 84 cars in Combiner limbs, go with Jazz, stick them in Inferno, and boom, you've got a new Autobot car Combiner bloke. Could have done a couple more Combiner girls, like Moonracer, and you could have had, you know, another female Combiner like Victorian, couldn't you? Could have had Alita Infin 1, it's all made out of girls. But no, just Moonracer, and maybe Firestar if she ever comes out. Actually, yeah, I'm saying we've had all the Power of the Primes, but we haven't, because she's the one thing that is like some weird Wave 4 single figure installment that hasn't come out yet. But can't say I'm fussed, because I've got Moonracer and she's the turquoise version of Firestar basically, and so she's the better one. Oh, look at these colours again, just, oh yes, gorgeous. Look at that turquoise, lovely. Oh, the like light blue on her and all the little like lilac bits as well. It's such a nice cool deco, you know, low temperature. It's like, it's nice to look at on a hot summer's day as the climate decides to destroy itself around here at the moment. Which is nice, you know, what can I say? I'm holding on to her by a block that makes most of her mass. You know, it doesn't really bother me, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you could do things with it. You can make it look a bit more like a sort of duster coat, which is kind of cool to go with her gunslinger thing she's got going on. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? That's a lot of stuff. And it's like, did that need to be one big solid piece? You know, did she need to transform quite like that? I don't know. It's weird because the Siege Chromia that we're getting, which could have so easily just been, you know, a combiner limb, couldn't it, to go on a Elite 1? But no, it's just kind of Moonracer, and we're going to strip out all the combiner bits, lay in loads of overblown detail on her, and but it's still basically the same thing. Her car mode looks really long, but it's not actually any longer than anything else. It's really narrow, and I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's like, it's covered in like all these windows all over the place, and it's just kind of annoying that like she's loaded with see-through blue, but none of it is in her eyes, and it's like, oh, come on lads, come on, you know, you put in so much clear plastic in so many of these figures. Where's the light piping? Where's the light piping gone? Oh mate. If I can go off on a tangent, I realised that Jazz's head is painted entirely black, like, and it's like a different black paint to the rest of the black paint that's on him, which would mean that underneath there is a different kind of plastic, which is quite likely that it's clear plastic what his head is made out of, and so it's like, why did you not just leave it And I mean, even if it was just, you know, colourless like his windows, I would have been fine. I would have been okay with it not being blue if it just channeled some light through it. Yeah, that's some stuff. A couple of deluxes. On to the main event though. It's like proper figure of the year territory that I really should have done an unboxing for, and I'm a bit annoyed about because I did intend to, but I was so excited I completely forgot I meant to do that and just tore into Nemesis Prime. Oh yes, this is how it should be done, man. I got the Optimus version for a nice 35 quid deal earlier in the year, and I was blown away by that. I mean, I was kind of on the fence thinking, oh, it was quite good, didn't it? I'm not really fussed about Orion packs, but it was quite like a nice big Optimus to have. And then I got it, and it's like, it's so much fun. It's so solid and dynamic, and okay, so he's a bit grey here and there, but it's a perfect Optimus. I like it more than the MP10 mould. It's just so good. I don't care about all the stuff on the back. I don't care about how much of a mess the alt mode is. It's such a good Optimus Prime because it's big and it's chunky and it's beefy, and the head sculpt is perfect, top notch, best ever. It hits all the right notes for me. You know, he's got a matrix in his chest, and then you've got the whole extra fun thing of being able to tear out his guts, and that's another bloke that's smaller, and it's kind of like a super mode, but it's kind of not, because it's like, are we saying that Optimus's regular robot mode is a super mode that Orion powers up into? Is this where his trailer goes when he transforms? Because like Ultra Magnus in the cartoon, you never actually saw the smaller robot that is the cab of the truck before it then transforms and combines with the trailer to make the robot you see on screen. Is that what they're trying to say? I don't want to think too much about that because it gets a bit weird. But Nemesis Prime, on the other hand, is just, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. This is good. I mean, first up, this is the first proper full-size Hasbro G1 style Nemesis Prime ever. You know, the only other generation's Nemesis they've done is a little Diddy one that was like 3 and 30. This is it. If you can compare the Power of the Prime's Leader Optimus to MP10, this is the MP10B. This is it, mate. Look at that shiny turquoise on his hips, and the arrows on his wrists. The blood red windows, and the way that the silver is actually paint, because on Optimus it's just the silvery plastic left unpainted, but it's just a tour de force of, oh yes, it's a bit saucy to look at, isn't it? And then you got the cherry on top, the piece de resistance of the weapons he's got. He's got the Armada arm cannons, and he's got the Vorpal saber, and he's got some Arms Micron bird sword bloke. I don't know who this is. You know, it's like, it's very nice that, you know, they've kind of gone to town referencing loads of different Nemesis Primes. But I think Prime is like one line I don't really give a monkey's about. So to have, you know, but saying that, the kind of, you know, obscure, in too deep nerd side of me really does appreciate the fact that it's like, oh, they're referencing that. That's like so obscure. And you've got Giza here, which is this big, wide, sharp bird that has no legs and can't sit on anything. But it's a thing, isn't it? You know, it's an extra bloke to some degree. It goes into a cool sword. That's nice. But what I'm really here for are the Armada references done in plastic. You know, let's face it. Because it's a nice way of recognising, because of course, you know, Generations at the moment is really all like, oh, let's go right back to the beginning and do G1 versions of everyone. There was no G1 Nemesis Prime. He did not exist. Well, the name Nemesis Prime wasn't applied to a black repaint of Optimus until Armada. He was the first one. So them sticking these massive arm cannons that look like exhausts on his arms and giving him a big red Star Saber is just, I shouldn't need to say I love it, because you should know, but baby, you know I love that. This sword, mate, like, look at it. It's so cool to have a Star Saber, like a new sculpt of a Star Saber that isn't actually made out of 3 planes that falls apart when you waggle it around like a sword. Yeah, you know, it's got the hilty bits. It looks like how no, vaguely. I mean, it wasn't really drawn with very much detail, was it, in the cartoon? But it looks like how it was rendered in the cartoon. It's just, you know, you've got a spiky hilt and this lit up blade, and it's cool. It's so cool. It's like his Darth Vader lightsaber equivalent, isn't it? It's just a big, pointy, perfectly shaped evil star saber for him to go swishing around, chopping off Demolisher's missiles. Please, 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 can we get a blue one? Please, can we get a blue one so I can give it to Hotshot, and then it's like, you know, you've got a representation of the actual star saber from the show. Please, somehow, somewhere, somewhen, can I just get a blue one of these? Because that's just such a good accessory, and it's like, I'm coming off about accessories, like, that's the thing, like, that makes it, because you get so much more than just a regular Optimus version of this, because he's still got the gun, you know, and you have to kind of stick it on his back there, in what I've recently learned could be an obtuse Diaclone reference, because there's like a Diaclone bit of box art where the Battle Convoy has got a shoulder cannon. I'm thinking, oh, is that what that is? Is that what that is? It's going in so deep that they're even, you know, doing a bit of a Diaclone thing there, but probably not. But you know, you still get the gun. So if you want to be boring, you can take off the arm guns and give him that, and he can just be a Black Optimus. But he's still got this weird Toxitron head. Apparently that's what that is, because it's just a kind of upscaling of tooling that was used on the is it like the BotCon Fun Pub? The Combinables Optimus turned into Toxitron, which was, you know, a head that Hasbro made as an alternate tooling for that. Didn't get used, and now they've just blown it up a little bit, stuck it on here for a Nemesis, and I'm like, I would have honestly preferred the Optimus head, because that's such a perfect head sculpt, and it, you know, it can look up and down really nicely. This one can't really, but at the same time I can really appreciate how it's Optimus Prime's face if it was made out of the Decepticon badge, and that's like, oh, that's, yes, that hits some really nice notes of, like, you know, the corruption of a symbol of peace and all that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But yeah, I'm crazy for these arm guns. It's silly, you know. It's like, as soon as the Optimus, you know, visibly had these ports on the side, I was like, ooh, sticking some bits on there. Going back and, you know, sticking these on Optimus is really cool, because it has just kind of G1 plus Armada flavour. I very much was generating inside my head quite a lot back in the day, but I was finding out about G1. I mean, I found a few months ago an old drawing of this design for like a definitive 20th anniversary Optimus that I'd made up, that was literally just, what if G1 Optimus did a super mode like the Armada one? So the ability to go and stick these guns on an Optimus that is kind of like a super mode, it fires a lot of stuff going on in my head, and it's just like, it's good at it. But Nemesis, yeah man, this is just, it's lovely, it's lovely. I had to have it. I just, yeah, you know, as soon as I saw those pictures from that weird Russian website that came out on April Fool's Day that made me think, is it just a joke? I knew that I had to have it, because it's like, oh, I can see the guns, I can see a sword. Yeah, I'm going to need to get that just for the accessories, really. But yeah, I've realised I'm definitely in there for getting Nemesis Primes now. It's going to be a thing I do, because they're just so nice, aren't they? So disemboweling him and reconfiguring the cube that is rendered from the middle of his torso, we have Nemesis packs, and it's like, that's the laziest name you could have come up with, isn't it? Like, who is this? Who is this? I mean, I suppose it's cool to think, you know, Nemesis Prime has always been a copy of Optimus Prime, made after Orion became Optimus. So it's like, okay, we've got a Nemesis Prime, and now has he been like retrofitted to have a smaller mode, just so at the, you know, eventuality, just in case Optimus goes back to being Orion, he can downsize and look like Orion and go around just kind of trolling him on another level. I don't know, it's kind of funny when you think about it like that. I quite like that little headcanon there. But yeah, whatever the hell Nemesis Pax actually is, he's cool, because again, it's just that really good Orion figure, but not so much looking like Orion Pax, because that design, I don't really like it. I mean, it works really nicely in the figure. It's a really good looking figure, you know, it's so dynamic, and just, it hits that hero silhouette in a more lithe kind of way that Optimus doesn't. But as this one, it's ever so nice because of course it is, because it's black with the metallic teal and the red window and extra little silver bits here and there, and it just looks menacing somehow. As this kind of smaller bloke, he just looks proper mean, especially with this like buzzsaw mohawk thing that he's got going on. Like, mate, that's a statement. And then you give him the saber and it just gets better because you realise that this mould is so good for like sword posing. His hands can do that to point the sword, and because he can swing his arms in a bit on that joint they transform on, you can get him to like properly double hand it, and it's like, ah, so good. And it's so nice that, you know, the hand of that is long enough to do that. It's great, it's great, it's great. The whole box of stuff you get with this Nemesis is just top tier, properly good. You know, it's such a slick deco, the kind of thing that Hasbro just haven't been doing. You know, it's like when it comes to Nemesis Primes, when it comes to your Black Convoys or Scourges or whatever, the black repaint of Optimus Prime, it's always been Takara's job. And now it's not Takara's job to do very much anymore. Hasbro come along and they're like, oh yeah, here you go. And it's great, it's just great. Go on then, yeah, let's do that. I'll show you. Yeah, the Matrix that he's got is also really nice because it's that same blood red, but it's all shiny purple, and it's like, the looks that this thing serves up just do not end. Every single aspect of this thing pleases mine eyeballs no end, and yeah, the trouble is it's a bit of a struggle to get that goes back in there. Something I suppose I should mention, when it is in Nemesis mode, you open up his chest, where there is a gap made by where the bits are all sort of put away behind his head, it means if you open his chest up, it channels the light to light pipe the Matrix, and that is so damn good. And again, I'd like to think that's an incredibly clever touch that they've put in, because of course the bloke who did Star Saber engineered this to begin with. Even this kind of janky truck is really nice. I like it, I like it. It hits the shapes, you know, square at the back, you've got the fuel tanks. You've got the side windows actually painted red to kind of match the front ones, and of course they don't, but it's kind of really good that it's like this brighter shade, really like stands out. I love the metallic teal headlights. So what you like about all this stuff around here, yes, it doesn't really clip in anywhere, does it, or do very much to hide, but look at it from the front. It's a very nice Optimus-y cab, and yeah, love it. Making use of the cavity in the chest is quite nice because you can take the Matrix out, shut the windows, and then it's like there's this illusion of depth to the cab in there. Oh, I could go on about this for bloody ever, couldn't I? It's good, man, it's good. Trailer, like this is not perhaps as good as the Optimus trailer, mainly because I was kind of thinking when the pictures came out that show the guns stuck on the side of it in a bit of a kind of Power Master flavour. I was looking at thinking, how have they done that? Because there's no pegs on the side of the trailer. Have they remoulded it? Do these use weird different pegs to slot on there somewhere? No, you just flip round the panels that are the sides of his arms and leave massive gaping holes in the side of the trailer if you want the guns on there. So, it's not perfect, but it's heckin' good, son. I'm turning it back into a cube to slot on his chest, but like, even down to something as kind of basic really as the way that the pack's hips work. I really like that. And my fingers in the way there. That's so good. Like, that's the way these kind of skirt pieces should work. Rotating with the leg. Not just being a flap that moves up out of the way and then gets in the way. It should have always been like that. You know, this kind of around the outside thing that moves with it deal. That is exactly the sort of engineering that all these masterpieces for years should have been doing. Engineering on this thing just continues to just be top notch, even if the arms don't really clip anywhere. So yeah, all in all, Power Prime's Nemesis Prime is definitely, I've got to say, unless something astounding comes along I might pick up at TF Nation, this has got to be the figure of the year. because the Optimus was my figure of the year, and then this came along, and it's like, it's just even better. So that's a little bit of a Power of the Primes catch up. Yeah, I've not really had anything else recently to talk about. Apart from a little box of very strange oddities, which you might be seeing soon, that aren't technically Transformers, no matter how hard the box tries to tell me they are. So I guess it's time to wrap things up, and I shall say I'll see you soon, probably, possibly, maybe, perhaps. I'm very aware that everyone's doing their TFN, preamble videos at the moment and doing all the questions to answer and all that, and I'm just sitting here like, haha, I haven't watched any of them yet. I've got to go through and catch up with everyone and do my own one, and it's 2 weeks away. It's 2 weeks away. It's only 2 weeks away. But yeah, I'm very much hoping to have a couple more videos for you before the big weekend, and then I shall see you there. So, I'll be on Wayne.